Tonight on Chats with Chantla, we'll be speaking with featured entrepreneur Paine the poet, spoken word artist, activist, actor, educator, and public speaker.
Welcome to Chats with Chantla. I'm Chantla Israel. We have a phenomenal show lined up for you tonight. I have an amazing entrepreneur, activist, artist, spoken word artist, just so many things that he's going to share about his experience into entrepreneurship and so much more. So it's Paine the poet. Before I get started, I want to share a quick video so you know who is coming to the platform. Some of you may already seen it, but I definitely want to share it with you guys. Let me set this up for you. And it's one of his videos, and I think you will greatly appreciate it. Okay, I needed my internet to not act crazy.
Please don't judge us. No. You see, a lot of us were the victims of the ones that love us. A lot of us had wayward fathers and uneducated mothers. I know dudes that hustle the cousins all dealing with brothers, but we're just the victims of the ones that love us. Please, don't judge us. You see, we only wanted acceptance. So as adolescents, we fell fast to familiar faults and on the foul perception. We thought drugs would get us taken and we were afraid that pills would protect us. You see, we know no other life than the life lived by others before us, so we run in circles to any feeling of fortune while being mindlessly moved by the mind of materials, mainly because as kids we really think it's important. Y'all, I remember the drug dealer supporter. Dude drove me to school, he bought me the Jordans. He taught me money over everything. We were conditioned to see the dollars important, and no matter what, never trust any member of the law enforcement. They never had that forward. We just seen them take family from us. No matter how much we try to tell them, we just the victim of the ones that love them. No matter how hard we beg them, please. Don't judge me. Y'all understand, this all started as babies. Bottles and pampers, we were the sons of fathers as acts and some father examples. If she was the daughter of a promiscuous mother, shorty won't know what love is. See, it's a vicious cycle. So many others get caught in its clutches, and so many others soon have kids that are destined to suffer and it hurts. Looking in the eyes of those kids that God's destiny touches. Staring at the back of a squad car when they're arrested and cuffed. Fresh out of frying pan into an oven and heat on 400, where raising a fire that aids our destruction. We're raised in a world where it's all or it's nothing. We're raised by mothers who always wanted marriage, but they never could trust them. You see, we're always victims of the ones that love them, but please, don't judge them. Don't call our mothers prior to the projects that fall beyond that. A palm on my chest, my hand with my heart, and I swear to God, we tried. It's just that the reality of the world that is the lies, so the only way we can live to fight for our lives in this whole world. I've seen rap songs raise our sons, Jerry Strait and Moya fathered our girls. And it's the justice system. They allow a judge to slam a gavel and say a verdict and take it down from a son to decide he don't deserve and is wild. And system and purpose, he pick a person, picks out a bunch of things that people have said they worthless. Beneath the surface, they pattern themselves perfect when judges and prosecutors are put in place to hurt us. I know they think we're irrelevant. I seen a sex offender get a slap on the wrist, but a 17-year-old black kid that couldn't take the self-defense get hit with the shit they hit Mandela with. Separate people and insult my intelligence now. I apologize to my family for my incarceration. I spent 8 years gone when I was born. I tried to explain that I succumbed to circumstances far beyond my knowledge's reach, resulting in my actions extending the distance further than my understanding. Back against the wall, suffocated under circumstances of God. I needed money to eat. But thinking about it now leaves this sour taste in my mouth. Because making it out may have been more probable than previously perceived, but in moments of stress, reflex overpowers contemplation and situations deceive. So hindsight doesn't accurately express what I momentarily believed. It was back against the wall, suffocated under circumstances of God. I needed money. I'm just grateful that my family's still up. I'm even more grateful that they pray to a Lord above me in a world so ugly. And I just ask that y'all do the same. Please. Don't judge me.
Yo, that is what's coming to the stage. That's what's coming to the platform tonight. I'm sorry, I said stage, but this is who's coming to the platform tonight. I hope y'all are ready. I want you guys to give a warm welcome. Do it in the comments. Welcome Paine, the poet, to Chats with Chantla. How are you doing, Paine? How are you doing, Paine?
Hey, can you hear me?
All right. Yes, I can hear you. So if we have technical difficulties, you can always log back in. But we hear you're a little bit delayed.
Okay.
But welcome to the platform. How you feeling?
I'm pretty good. I been reaching out, working on like promoting the film, American Stand on Demand, everywhere, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Premium on Demand, check it out. Just kind of,
Absolutely.
engaging the people as much as I can. And a lot of people want to talk about the subject matter, so I try to make myself available as I can with my schedule allows.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I thank you for allowing, the opportunity for Chats with Chantla and those who are viewers who are watching just to learn a little bit more about you. So we have Montel. Thank you so much for watching. We have Tiara. Thank you so much for watching. So many people have already shared this video, this live stream. So thank you, Jen. Thank you, Albeni. Thank you, Tamara. There are so many people already sharing and ready to just get into this conversation. They want to know more about you as a poet, as an entrepreneur, also about American Skin, but we're also going to be celebrating Black History Month and have you share your experience about being a Black man here in America. But my first question for you is what motivated you to become a poet?
I believe it was just, I love the way like phonetics, how words sound, and kind of I used to watch when I was a kid. I used to watch Frasier. I was the only dude in the hood that watched Frasier. Nobody like 11 was watching Frasier that I knew, and it was interesting to me how they spoke, how they talked, like how Niles and Frasier were arguing and stuff. What it would sound like. So that made me interested in like learning the words. What was a boudet and all that stuff? What was this? They used to go to brunch, and I'm 11. I was, we gonna have food stamps. I ain't know about brunch, it made me like investigate. What are they talking about? And through that, I just learned like word usage, like what this means. This also means this, and this means that. So at a young age, I was flipping sentences and saying things in ways that none of my peers was, because I was watching Frasier at home.
Absolutely.
So from there, that led to the rhythm, adding rhythm to it. The poet was born.
You know what? I watch Frasier to this day. I watch it like at least it's on my playlist when it's time to go to bed. So I love Frasier. So when you said that, that's so funny that you shared that reference on what really motivates you and inspires you into poetry. But how did you get the name Paine the Poet?
So my best friend, I know Stacy Briggs. We were incarcerated together, and at the time, I went by Breadman. And the reason I went by Breadman is because my mother used to always say, "You think you get away with everything? Can't catch me on the gingerbread man." She'd say that all the time. So that kind of like stuck to me. So I went by Breadman, and we were doing a fair event, like a prison event, where we kind of like a talent showcase for the population, and they done everything on the board of what people wanted to do: rap songs, skits, comedy. Then I thought it said spoken word. And at the time, I'm a rapper. I grew up listening to Bone. Outkast is my favorite group. #1, Andre 3000, my favorite rapper. So I had never done a spoken word. I have heard it, but I have never attempted it. So when I raised my hand and said I can do that, I was just playing. I just knew that I could figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? I write anything. Like, I tried. And then the first poem I wrote, and what's crazy about this poem is this is the only poem I ever performed not as Paine. So the first poem I performed at the event, my whole back was sweating, because I'm not performing in front of your typical audience. I'm performing in front of dudes that's been down for 10, 12 years. Dudes that when they got locked up, like Nas just came out. Like it's dudes that young dudes that just got a bunch of time, and the only thing they were listening to was Jeezy or you know what I'm saying, Lil Wayne or something. Like this is not the environment where you're gonna deliver poetry. I do the poem, and it hit so hard that everybody in the room stand up and clap. Dudes that didn't even know me, dudes that didn't like me. I was like 3 or 4 dudes. I know you guys aren't too fond of me because how I walk around and talk. So when I saw them, and one of them came to say, "Man, show me his arms." I got goosebumps, man, and they was hugging me. It changed me. So I went back to the pod. I said, "Man, I got to do this poetry thing, man. I think I can do this." Everybody was like, "Man, yeah, you got to do that. You got to do that. You got to keep that going." So the first thing I thought, well, Brett, that's not a poet name. Like what I'm gonna flip it to. So I'm a big Prince fan. So Prince had went and as the artist formerly known as Prince. So I went the poet something like a title because the Prince had like a title. And
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna be the poet. And if you saw the vampire movie Queen of the Dam with Ashanti, I mean not Ashanti, but
Aaliyah.
The vampire's name was the Vampire Lestat. So I thought that was dope, just how that sounded. So I got a foot out roll. I was like, yeah, you talk that Paine. So I was like, shoot, I'm gonna be the poet Paine. I felt like a title, poet Paine. And my homeboy was like, nah, that sounds well. You should be Paine the poet. Like you a poet, but you got that Paine. Like you should be Paine the poet. Simple like that. And it came from there. And the Paine, I wanted to I always want to do things. I don't never just say anything. Like if you pay attention, like you can peel layers back on stuff that you already heard me do, and it meant something different. Then it got different meanings. So with just Paine, that stands for people afraid in need of escape. And when I first saw Paine, it was Thomas Paine, common sense, and just and I always tried to be on things that my peers probably would never pick up because I didn't want to be like what we were. So I started filling myself with different information than what we were getting. So
right. Absolutely.
Long story short.
So no, I love it. I love how you just shared the meaning of that. Thank you so much, Tamara, for joining. She said she loved the acronym of Paine, Paine. So I really appreciate that. Also, I just want everyone, thank you so much for joining tonight. Thank you for being patient with us. So as we're hoping that you're still a little bit delayed. So I don't know if you have to log out, log back in, but if not, we're going to make it through. Definitely technology doesn't always have to be on our side. But I know a lot of people who are watching.
Do you want me to try that? I could do that.
Okay, you can try it, and I can share another video as Paine steps out. So you can log out and log back in, and I'll share another video. Right. Thanks, Paine. So guys, before we start this other video, thank you all for joining tonight. I just want to put this disclaimer on the screen. Your food is over there. So I wanted to put this disclaimer on the screen just so you guys know that the video that I'm about to share has slight profanity in it, so I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. So I'm going to share another video with you as Paine joins back in. So let's skip it.
World doesn't make exceptions for kids. Rough childhoods, those children without examples of what success really is. And when you look at their circumstances, it's clear that they were never expected to live.
Your food is in.
They were just names and pictures posted on papers, and they balled them all up. Threw them in the garbage with all the garbage like they would call us, then lock them up with lopsided laws that they would call just and swear that they did it for their country and what they call love. I guess, given that we're from where we're from, they think we all got guns. They think we all push drugs, so partake in a peaceful protest and outlook we all call thugs. Where these red zone areas section off neighborhoods so so-called normal society does not come around us. Where they pack us in prisons by the 100,000 so that the ghost-like absence of fathers makes those project homes feel like haunted houses. Rough childhood is an understatement. Kids not particularly partial to their placement. We're from the bottom like basements with hopes high as the attic underneath gray skies where the sun is absent. We think, why have joy now? We ain't never had it. All we ever had is going to school with every type of drug and every type of gun, but never passing to attend classes of teachers that never could imagine us passing. But who can blame us? Not only misguided, but aimless, bound by burdens and so beneath, we perceive middle class to be rich and famous. Coming from environments that are unsafe, just being raised with directly handed to harm's way, where we model every move those drug dealers display. Too lost in the darkness, too over.
So that was Paine the Poet doing Rough Childhood. There's nothing like live TV streaming. I'm sorry about the background noise. I was multitasking, but I thought I was muted. So let's all have a laugh about that. But I'm going to bring Paine back on to the stream. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can place them in the comment section so that I can bring them up for Paine to be able to speak about them. Paine, I want to speak about that poem that you just did, and then I want to move into the experience that you had at American Skin, working with Nate Parker and so many other individuals. But what was the inspiration behind Rough Childhood?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 4 of live stream reviews from StreamYard. My name is Care
What is
I'm
going
the content
on?
marketing manager at StreamYard. And
I am so sorry.
Be like that. You're fine.
Go ahead.
You're fine.
They're trying to mess it up.
With Rough Childhood, I kind of wanted to show the details of what leads kids into directions that we become in as adults. I brought up the red line and red zone areas. A lot of us, a majority of our upbringing was in like a 10-block radius. Like we ain't go nowhere. We ain't have no money. And if you did go somewhere, it was like the other side of town, was like the other mall on the other side of town, and you felt like you went somewhere.
Right.
So Rough Childhood are the girls that's around up in that fashion.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that.
I never try to when I paint a picture, I never try to I like to put stuff in proper context, because if I talk about gun violence the wrong way, the wrong person's going to hear it and perceive it in a fashion that's going to cause them to go down the wrong path just because they misunderstood what I was saying, and they feel like, well, if he did this, then I must be good because he did this when he was my age, so I should be good. I don't like to leave stuff like that to misinterpretation.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. I also want to ask you, how do you develop the technique to memorize all the words that are in your poems?
You got to believe in what you're saying. Like, I write in a fashion to the point where after the first line, I say the next line is all me personally would say after that. Like, it's never going to be anything different. I would say, if I said this, I would say this after that. Like, there's no time I wouldn't know what I would say after this. Like, if somebody told me, please don't judge us. In my mind, it automatically thinks you must be a victim of the ones that love you. In my just how my mind works. So when I do that, when I perform, I'm literally up there saying the only things I think to say. Like, so it's hard. I very rarely like drop a line in a poem. If you hear me perform twice, you may hear the poem different because it's how I feel at the time, but it's the same framework. And I don't forget the basis of it because it's the only thing I would have said.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Also, I want, if you have the viewers, if you have any questions for Paine, please put it in the comment. Thank you so much for us sticking with us as we have a slightly delayed technical difficulties, but we're still making it happen. Thank you for being faithful. Thank you for supporting the platform. I'm so happy that Paine is here. So I do have a question from our viewers that someone does want to speak about, and let me get that question for you. And it says, do you prefer freestyling or allocating time to write?
Good question. And I hate that people put so many extra points on the freestyle. I don't want to freestyle. I want to hear what you thought about. I want to hear how you feel. Like, contemplate it, because more actuality, a freestyle could be like changed, aided by the current circumstances. Like, if you're drunk, believe that you're better than you actually can, just because the confidence alcohol gives you, the misplaced confidence. But when I hear what you wrote, when I hear how you think and how you paint a picture, how you would describe something that you thought out, that's where, that's how I judge the artist. Like, I want to hear what you thought about.
Right. Absolutely. I love that. Also, when I talked to prepare for this collaboration that I'm so grateful for, you described something that has changed my life. And you described why you do not describe yourself as a hustler. I want our viewers to hear this because I think it's going to really resonate with so many people. So why don't you call yourself a hustler?
Because that puts you, in my opinion, I don't know everything, but it puts you in a state of always needing. I don't always want to need. I got to find 6 streams of income. Oh, well, then I got to double. Yeah, I got to keep going and build generational wealth to like what ends. Like, money is a means to what ends. Like, when will you have peace? If you're always hustling to live, when will you have peace? If you're always hustling, there's money, the amount of money you can have, like, it's endless. Like, they make you believe, hey, you could be a trillionaire, and that's the goal. I want to be a trillionaire. And people say, hey, I respect that. That's what's up. But that's a perpetual goal. Like, you'll never find happiness. So I like to have goals that are aligned with finding peace, not money. Money can keep the lights on, but after that, what else did you need it for? Oh, you said, well, I want my kids to be wealthy. Do you? I never heard of a hero that was a rich kid. It probably happened a couple times, but I just I don't want rich kids. I want taking care of kids. I want educated kids. I don't think I want rich kids. It's just something. I just don't think. Of course, I don't want anyone in my family to struggle, but like that's a thing that changes you mentally. So whoever you were before it, like, now, yeah, your flaws are justified because you have money. Like, and you can do anything. You got money, so they're like, oh, you got money though. I don't want that. I don't want it like that. I want it like I want to be in a moment where I feel good about everything that I've done. That's success to me. Like, if I'm constantly chasing, I'm never going to be happy. That's constantly chase. That's not a goal. When can you sit back and like when is that day? When can you exhale? Like, saying rest in peace, Whitney. When can you exhale? I'm waiting to exhale.
Absolutely. So I love that. And I do not call myself a hustler for that reason, is that I don't want to keep running after something. I want to enjoy the hard work that I'm doing. So when you told me that, I do not describe. I'm not hustling that hard to not enjoy life. But I do have another question, and this question comes from T. Campbell, and she wants to know. I'm sorry, Tay Campbell, and she wants to know, what age did you start writing poetry, and what made you want to start performing your poetry? I know you touched a little bit on what happened when you were incarcerated, but what age did you start actually writing it?
All right, so I had to be about, I was in my early 20s before I became Paine the Poet, but I've always written stories and always rapped. I found this out. There are some of us, hey, and actually Frederick Douglass speaks of it, called the talented tenth. There's some people of there's some of us, we have these knacks and abilities, and some of them are words and literature, but it's so many lanes within that if you're overall with words, creative with words, you're going to find yourself in lanes that you're good at because you're going to be good with words anyway, but it may not be the exact one. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like
Yeah.
playing basketball. You could play all, like LeBron could play all 5 positions on the court, but he plays the 3 position better and the 1 position better than he might play the 4 or the 5, or you know what I'm saying, or even the 2, if you know basketball, to put it in those terms. But I kind of I found out that I just had the ability to articulate experience, and I like the pace of poetry, and I like being able to just clearly speak. And this is kind of on me. I kind of got this little air about myself where I want to be able to entertain people with nothing. Like, I'm talking about just a stage. I don't need any theatrics. You don't got to play no beat, no producer. You're not going to hear nothing I did and be like, oh, the beat was hot. Nah, what did I eat? You know?
Right.
So it's important what I say. So all that
Absolutely.
made Paine the Poet. Probably in my early
Absolutely.
20s, 23, 24. Yeah.
Wow. So you started at 23. A lot of us would have to need to develop that at a very tender age. I probably would have needed that at 5, but I'm glad that you developed it. I'm glad that you're using it. So many people are so grateful for it. But a lot of people don't know
Yeah,
that
but
you are.
you know,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Payne. I didn't hear you.
hey, what were you saying?
I didn't know. I over talked you because
No,
of delay.
we're getting caught in the lag. So I was about to say something, then I was trying to listen to what you were saying.
What were you saying? And then I can repeat what I was going to say.
Oh, I was saying, as far as like, I had writing and stuff since I was young, but it was like I would write little short stories for myself, and you know, based off like just stuff out of my imagination and things like that. So I was always writing and things like that. Then when I got introduced to like Edgar Allan Poe, because people think I went to the like slam poets when I first learned about poetry. Nah, I was reading Edgar Allan Poe, and dude is like, wow, his story is like really crazy. Um, he always knew he was good, and he didn't let no school or anybody tell him that he wasn't, nice. And one thing about me is, I say in a poem, I was supposed to be scared the high class poets would consider a convict incapable of creating real art, because I'm not formally trained like a lot of the poets that I've performed next to. I perform on feel, and I really practice what I do, and I focus on craft. And that's important to anybody out there. You don't say you're something that you don't devote all your energy. Like, if you don't devote your energy to it, like, how can I devote energy to addressing you as such? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So if anything you're striving to be, you have to embody it for anybody else to. You can tell people, well, I do A, B, and C, and they only see you do C. I do A and B too. Well, you got to show it to A and B so we can acknowledge it, because then you're gonna say, hey, nobody supports me, nobody cares about me. Do you care about you?
Right.
But yeah, not to talk you to death.
No, I love what you're saying. Okay, so what I want to do now is, I know a lot of people are watching because they want to hear about your experience about with American Skin. So how how did you get noticed to be in American Skin? Like, did you audition for the part? Like, what was it that got your Nate Parker's attention that placed you in this movie?
So, but I didn't know it was an audition. I was doing a regular performance that I had got paid to do in Santa Monica, California, and it was told to me before I got there that Danny Glover was going to be there, and he was. So I was like expecting to see Danny Glover, and like I was performing. I'm like, I'm gonna do extra good. I know Danny gonna like me, you know. But what I didn't know is in the audience there was a phone in front of my face. It was a phone in front of a guy's face like this. I couldn't see who it was. He was recording me, and came on stage. He put the phone down. It was Nate Parker. It was, Great Debaters, Birth of a Nation. There's Nate Parker in front of me. Stop where Liam Neeson is him going back and forth, whatever. Saw all of it, and he said, "Man, I got a role for you, man. Let's talk by the bar." We go to the bar, we have a drink, and he explains it to me. And I said, "Man, I'm gonna tell you that I haven't acted before." And he said, I was like, but if you like, I definitely do whatever you need me to do. He was like, "You got it, man. Just tell the truth. You got it." And I didn't know then he was gonna say that to me 50 times. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Just tell the truth. Then I got the script, and I started to realize why he said that, because everything in the script is stuff that I already say. Like,
Yeah.
people that know me watch the movie and they were like, "Hey, bro, like, you wrote that?" I'm like, "Nah, it sounds like I did because you just heard me telling you this at the barbershop the other, but this is just like how I feel, what I believe." So meeting me at the time that he did, it was serendipity. Like it really fit. It fit. And me being formerly incarcerated and playing somebody that is incarcerated, it really worked out.
Absolutely. Also, a lot of people have watched American Skin who may be watching this episode of Chats with Chantla. I'm so grateful for you guys watching and sticking through this collaboration. It is so insightful. Paine is giving us so much knowledge. He's dropping so many gems, not just for business, but also for life. Like, you have to know how to take care of yourself from the inside out. But I do have a question for you in regards to the movie. Someone actually sent me this question, and I want to share it with you. So and they're speaking about the message of American Skin is one that's so familiar to Blacks. And the message that is like this message that is meant for a certain group of people may never get to see American Skin. Do you agree that this message in American Skin is repetitive for people of color? And also, and how do you feel that non-people of color are receiving American Skin?
So when you Google the film, when you Google the movie, and Rotten Tomatoes has it at 38% score, and the audience opinion of the film is 7% approval. So that the critics and the people are like not agree with each other. But as far as the messaging in the movie, what we're talking about, what the film is, what you got to understand is we were on set, and there were things said in the film, and there were people in the movie that were like, "Dang, I didn't know that," or "What? Where'd y'all get this from?" And we have to remove the "Oh, I didn't know it was like that." We got to take that away. So I don't care how many times we got to say the same message. They came out with another movie, African Skin, about the same thing with different people, and I would watch that too, just because they the way things are, it would appear as if people didn't know what we tried to explain in the movie. The way things are going, the way life is, it would appear that we do need to continue to do this movie. So until things are apparently received, the message got to get, because until you hear us, we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep making it, and we're going to keep showing you that, no matter how much you try to criticize it, we got 97% approval from our folks. You know what I'm saying? And folks that are supporters of us, folks that are constituents. That's what we have. So it's stuff like that, just to get the Rotten Tomato score. That's why we got to keep doing this movie.
Right.
We don't get a fair. How many movies you're going to go up? We look on Rotten Tomatoes and find out how many movies you're going to find with a 38% critic score and a 97% audience score. You won't see that.
Absolutely. It was very powerful for me. And when I seen you on the screen as I'm watching, and the scene where you come out and you sit down, I'm like, I know him. So I start tripping. I was so proud of you. I start celebrating you and your achievement with being a part of American Skin. Like, it's so historical to me. And when I watched it, I was like, I sent you an Instagram message, not thinking that you were going to ever respond. I just was like, let me just shoot my shot. But when your character spoke, as so many other people have said, it sounded just like you. It sounded like something that came straight from you, that wasn't scripted, that the director said, okay, Paine, just speak however you want to speak and let this be. And they just said action and then cut when you were done. How much do you see yourself in the character that you played on American Skin?
So the character I play, his name is Jalal Mahad. The look of the character, how the character acted. Excuse me. I got that from a guy at the time named Abdul Wakil. He was a Muslim, and he just recently made parole. Great guy. Like, I'm talking about the most mild-mannered person you ever met in your life. He was actually incarcerated. So he tells his story, so he wouldn't mind me sharing this. Incarcerated since he was 17 he was in a car and the committed a robbery, ran back in the car, and he got 48 years, something crazy, for being an accessory. He was 17-year-old kid, and the guys were adults. And he was a devout Muslim, throughout his time, and my knowing that. So when I went with the character, I knew what he looked like and I knew what he acted like just from knowing Abdul Wakil. And the things that were in the script, the things that I was saying, I've always said, and it's kind of like I've heard every rebuttal, and it's just kind of like, even when they rebut certain statements, it's kind of making it like you're fighting to not like us. You're fighting for facts on why you should not like us. Like, you're going out of your way to disagree with the stance of stop doing the stuff y'all been doing to us. Just stop. You going against that. Like, that's crazy. But
right.
It is what it is. That's why we have to keep making the movie.
Absolutely. And then how do you think non-people of color are receiving American Skin?
Well, I've been getting feedback from all races, and it's important that people of color and whites engage messages that are uncomfortable too, because we always had to.
Right.
There were times when the stuff that came on TV. I'm gonna put y'all onto something. This is something y'all nobody probably knows this watching this. There's an episode of Leave It to Beaver when Beaver is supposed to go visit some family in the next town, and he's going to take the bus. Now, the problem is he gets on the wrong bus and goes to the wrong place, and it's a big thing, but it's on Leave It to Beaver. During this episode, Mr. Cleaver goes up in the room. No, the mom goes in the room like, look what I found in Wally's, and it's a noose. And the dad goes, boys will be boys. And it goes on to the next scene. With the episode of Leave It to Beaver, Beaver is going on a bus to go visit some family. He actually goes to around town. They find a noose in Wally's room, and that was the joke. Because they said boys will be boys. So to be able to take part in something that's like an attempt to change the narrative, we got to remember where we live at. Like, this was their network television. This was the family show. They found a noose in the room on the family show. You remember what Leave It to Beaver was to America? Right. This is what they had. This is what America felt like was funny. So,
wow.
Again, that's why we kind of keep making the movie.
You know what? I appreciate everyone.
Leave It to Beaver up.
Yeah, definitely. And I appreciate everyone who's sticking with this episode of Chats with Chantla, even though Paine physically is delayed. The words that he is saying are not delayed. They are right on time. So do not be discouraged by what technology is giving us. I need you to take away the words that he is saying. He is educating us. I said he was an educator. He doesn't even intentionally do it. I need you to understand the words that are coming out of his mouth and the importance of them. These are things that we are not learning in our schools. We're not learning in a lot of different places. So I need you to really recognize and hear what he is sharing with us, because as we know, but it is Black History Month. We have 12 months in a year, and we have 28 days are dedicated to us from this country. And that is because a lot of times people just don't want to acknowledge the excellence and the achievements of people of color, especially Black people in this country. So I want you not to be discouraged. I want you to hold on, hang in there to this episode and focus on what Paine is saying, not how he's coming across the screen. So Paine, I want to also talk about what it is to be a Black man in America. So what is a mantra, if you had one, that would describe being Black in America?
I would have to we've talked, and like take this so many ways, and so much to be said, and just right in this moment. If we gain awareness of the things that surround us that affect us as the Black community, and I'm talking about everything from the violence in the streets to selling drugs to uh, child trafficking. Our kids are just coming up missing. Um, all the way down to relationships. What they like, the percentage they say on Blacks getting married and all this thing, like in Blacks staying married is important. And you got to think of, if you just pay attention to any circumstance in your life, like if you're in a relationship and you're with somebody that's treating you toxically, develops mindsets. What develops your way of thinking? Why is it that if somebody says A, B, and C to you, you react like this? And what you go to find is, case in point, I hate peanut butter. I hate peanut butter. And it's the reason I don't like peanut butter is my mom used to make peanut butter. So only make peanut butter sandwich when she didn't feel like cooking, and she only didn't feel like cooking when she was stressed out or mad about something. So I knew it was some drama in the house when I smelled peanut butter because she's stressed out. So now I don't eat it. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the smell, I got too much bad association with it. Da, da, da.
Mm-hmm.
So I say all that there were things that were set before us, our mothers, our grandparents, that created reflexes that developed into traits that we all have. It doesn't even matter. Then when you add poverty on top of that, here's the Black condition. So it's to the point where when you are successful, you're further away from people that look like you. We have associated success with being away from people that you grew up around, because you feel like, I made it out. You made it out of the base way of existence. When you made it out of our entire culture. And it sounds crazy, like, no, you can be Black and be successful, but they have divided us. We've been divided by economics to the point where you want to be in Black communities, but Black communities are impoverished because they don't want no money to come here unless they're trying to move people out, and they up the value and price of everything.
Right.
And man, I'm about to move back to Georgia with my grandma and them, where they stay. I can get a house down there for this, because they're trying to funnel us all back down south. That's why they're gentrifying the cities. Because if you pay attention to history, and we know, we all do, they didn't want us up here anyway. They needed us up here during World War II when the factories was running. They needed stuff. They were so paranoid with war. We developed the traits of the people that started this country. Whether we aware of it or not, the way that we feel about certain things is all based on the people that established this country. They set us in a motion where we react the way they would to things. And just doing some research, you'll find out. I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
This is a long topic.
No, I get it. And I appreciate it. Paine, I also want to ask you a question. Do you think that it'll ever be possible to be Black and safe in America? Do you think those two things will ever happen here?
Say that one more time.
I said, do you think that it will ever be possible to be Black and safe in America?
Okay, I want you to, like, everybody to think about this. You have to look at all the things that they did just to keep us away from them, and what they continue to do, like the moves that they continue to make to separate themselves from us. There's a section of this country, a group of people that have been around. You got to think all the racist politicians that put forth legislation against blacks, that felt like they have kids, brothers and cousins and stuff that follow family business. They're all in politics. Like Lyndon B. Johnson, that did a lot of racist policy. Richard Nixon, all them. They got their bloodline is still in there. The people that you with them, they all still in. They're still in there, mixed in. They're still mixed in. They just tactfully move because there's things that we consider triumphs. This is Black History Month. Black History Month is just a list of things that they just wouldn't let us do. They decide, all right, y'all got it. Like, the people that are stopping us, that the people that are in front of them in achievement, they're still around. They're just saying no. Like, oh, blacks do this. No. Like, and we answer them. Like, when it happens, we say, oh, the first Black astronaut. Well, they're no in the first place. They're still around. They're still walking around. These people, like, that's the thing. They have any recourse for anything that any decision that they made. Like, there's policies. Okay. In 2002, they released a video game called Ethnic Cleansing, and they hurry up and took it off the shelf. Ethnic Cleansing was about exactly that. You play the dude with a gun, you go to the hood, and you kill all the Mexicans and blacks. That's what the game was about. They had to take it off the shelves. But that means there was a software company and fan that created a game called Ethnic Cleansing, and they live here. So it's kind of like, look, affirmative action. You can't deny somebody a job because they're Black. You know, people voted against that, and they're still alive. They're still around. What else do you think that they believe? You know, and they're going to keep trying to find organized ways to keep us away from them, because it's kind of like this. If you have siblings, it's kind of like hitting one of the siblings and they don't get you back right away. You're going to always feel like it's coming.
Right.
And they feel like it's coming. They know everything they did. Time at it. I hope I'm not alive to see the day we have to pay for all we've done. He said it. But we have to put them back in front of their faces. Like, it's stuff that they have written 4 or 5 that accurately speaks to how monstrous they are. But they got to face it.
Right. Also, I want to ask you this question, and then I'm going to allow you to share some final thoughts for our viewers. What do you think? Do you think that there are any advantages of being Black in the United States?
I feel like we're all different. We're all different, and I think, like, pressure makes. That's why we come out like that's why we have LeBrons and Michael Jacksons and Muhammad Ali's. These people that grew up under immense pressure. You know, we're all under immense pressure. And that's why you can't look down at the people that fold under it, because you weren't ever supposed to be up under it anyway. So the fact that make it through and become great things is even more amazing, because we come from conditions that weren't even supposed to exist. So the plus side of being Black in America is you get to play the game on hard difficulty. So when you win, you get extra medals. But at the same time, you shouldn't have to. But we're very good at playing hand we're dealt.
Right. I like that. When you said that, it just made me think of, when you said that, Blacks and other people of color in America, that an advantage is that we have played a difficult game and we've had so much pressure. And when you apply pressure and fire, it gets you some of the most beautiful gems and stones, the rarest beauties. And I believe that that is a beautiful and poetic way of describing Blacks. And because there is so much beauty, there is so much excellence, there's so much skills and so much talent that, you know, we were able to develop under suppressed and oppressed and very difficult ways and times, and things that were meant to kill us actually allowed us to learn how to survive, but more than survive, succeed and be successful in whatever level of success that is for, like you said, everybody. It's different for everybody. But I, you know, just really think that, you know, there's so many people who really want to support you. They want to know how to support you. They want to, you know, be able to reach out and what that support looks like. So one of the questions that somebody would like to ask you is, how can we, the viewers of Chats with Chantla and those who will share this and will learn more about Paine the Poet, how do we support you outside of shares and likes?
What Beyonce's her name? That's how you get. That's how you can help me. The more I'm talked about, the more opportunities I get. I don't want none of y'all money. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of money that's owed to us all. So I just need y'all to mention me, and the rest will be taken care of. I got things in the works. I can't really say anything right now because, you know, it's just the entertainment industry is weird. People will say one thing to you, and then you never hear nothing again, and it's crazy. Then sometimes you might. When I got the American Skin movie, Nate told me about it in like February. I didn't hear about it. I didn't hear from him again at all till April. So somebody told me I was going to be in a movie, and then months went by before I heard from him again. And then he was like, then the next month he was like, oh man. I say all that to say, I don't know. I'm Rev. I feel like a Rev, but supporting me, just say my name. I'm gonna be just keep me mentioned. Keep mentioned, it'll work, and I got y'all. If you want to reach out to me, Paine Poet on IG, my website www.painethepoet.com. I'll be getting new videos. You can see a couple of things about me up there. If you want to tell somebody about me, you can tell them my website. I really appreciate that. So just mention my name. Just keep my name in the air, and the rest will be taken care of.
Absolutely. Also, what you'll also realize about Paine is you can follow him on Paine at, you know, the Instagram at Paine the Poet, Paine with the E. Also, I want you guys also to recognize that we didn't get to it, but Paine is also an activist. Paine also worked to make sure that he knocked on convicted felons' doors in the state of Florida when they were trying to be blocked out to be able to vote. He was there knocking on doors. He also has a video called Free Our Vote that helps and shows you about his activism. So he's not far removed from the passions of his heart in the work that he does. So when you learn and you follow him and you keep his name at the tip of your tongue, it is going to open doors. You know, when you think about him, the things you think about are what you speak about. I need you to think about Paine the Poet. Every time you hear Paine, I want you to put an E to it. Every time you hear poet, I want you to think of Paine. I want you to think of Paine the Poet. I'm not just about American Skin, not just about activism, not just about his cadence in the way that he does poetry, but the work that he is putting out. I understand that tonight may have not been the best form of technology, but you got gems and you got insights. And believe me, there's going to be other opportunities. Paine's coming to other platforms. Make sure you follow him to find out. You want to make sure he's connecting, building, collaborating with so many other people. This is just the beginning. I'm grateful that this man chose to come on Chats with Chantla to do this collaboration. And it's so much bigger than him and I. Educate yourself. Educating yourself is by speaking about greatness that people are doing. Greatness like what Paine is doing. Greatness like other entrepreneurs that have been featured on Chats with Chantla. Do not forget them. Hit the replay, share, learn, connect. What you don't think you have, somebody else may have. You may have the connection. Paine, I think that you are amazing. I know that what God has in store for you and how he's blessing your hard works. This is just the beginning. I am privy to know some of the things and projects that you're working on. You will hear his name so many times. You will hear his name so many times. And I'm so grateful that he was able to come and share tonight. But Paine, I want to give you the opportunity right now to just share some final thoughts with our viewers about just encouragement and just about, when they're up against hard times and they feel like they can't do it. You're somebody who is persevering, someone who has resiliency, and someone who just knows his worth. What would you tell to somebody who is trying to maybe step into what you're doing, or actually, just doing whatever their passion is? What would you say?
I would say the most important thing to do, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever kind of success that you want in what you're doing, try to provide a form of that success to somebody else. If you're an entrepreneur and you opening up a clothing store and you know somebody else has a clothing store, go buy from them. You have to create the energy that you want in your life. You have to make it. So you have to exert that energy, and you have to live in it in order to ever receive it. So with me as an artist, what I do is I listen to people. Like, if anybody on here, you do music, you do whatever you do, share it. I'll look at it. I'll definitely look at it and tell you what I think. Just because I needed that when I was on my way up, I needed that. So that's what I provide people when I can. I don't always get to everything, but I get to most of it, most of the time. So the energy that I want, I try to create it. And I just recommend that you do that too. The first thing you should think of is, how could I show some love? And I promise you, if you dwell in your well, the thing you draw from that gives you strength, whatever it is that you do, if you're a plumber, that's out there, you learn how to be the best, and you hang with people trying to be the best at plumbing, I promise you life is going to be way happier for you. If you're a model, you hang with models and y'all trying to help each other become the best, I promise you'll be fine. Dwell in your well, if you're searching for the well, we'll figure it out. Sometimes I can talk to you. Holler at me. The thing I try to do is just try to get the love that I wish to receive, and I just appreciate y'all for your time. Please keep up with me, Paine the Poet, at Instagram, www.painethepoet.com. It's been great here with Chantla. Keep watching her. This show is going to be on TV soon, and I thank y'all for your time. Peace.
Paine, you blow me away. And you know how I feel about just what you're doing and how you're doing it. I can't wait to have a part 2 of this collaboration. I just think that you're such an amazing and gifted individual that came from very humble beginnings, and you encourage other people to, pour out. And I feel like what you're doing is you understand your purpose here on earth and you're giving it to us. And so that's why anyone who is watching tonight, do not be discouraged by technology. It's not always on our side, but you heard the words that this man just laid down for us. You heard the insight. Follow Paine the Poet on Instagram. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. What I'm telling you is, this man, this time, 6 months from now, a year from now, you're going to be like, I remember when he was on Chats with Chantla, because you're going to be seeing him in magazines, on different platforms, on television, in different movies. I mean, this is American Skin was just the beginning. Paine is who he was before American Skin, and Paine is who he is going to be after American Skin. He is so much bigger than that. Again, Paine the Poet. He is a spoken word artist. He's an actor. He's an activist. He's an educator and a public speaker. So thank you so much, Paine, for joining me on Chats with Chantla for my 2nd season and my 5th episode. You have been such an amazing blessing to me and those who watched. So thank you again for tuning in to Chats with Chantla. It's been a pleasure. Guys, I will see you every Monday at 7. See you next week.